Hi, welcome to another episode of Emma Brooke. Thanks so much for joining me today on this beautiful, gloomy, grey Saturday. The sun is trying to break through. So, today I wanted to talk about soulmates because I think that's something that is wonderful but can kind of hinder our selfishness as well. I know a lot of what I talk about is learning to be selfish and redefining what selfishness is for yourself, so that you're able to be happy and authentic and kind of attract the people that you want to attract and live the life you want to lead. And so often I think we get caught up in this concept of soulmates and being with my soulmate and finding my soulmate, and if I just find my soulmate everything will be perfect. And quite often soulmates are thought of in romantic connotations, and I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on what I think a soulmate is and how that works in terms of my own selfishness and my own selfish consciousness. So, for me, a soulmate is somebody who you really connect with. So, it doesn't have to be the one, or some amazing romantic partner who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or alternatively, spend the rest of your life pining after because you can't be with them. For me, a soulmate is somebody you can have multiple soulmates throughout your life, or lifetimes, if that's what you believe in. And I believe I've met a couple of soulmates in my time. And the reason that I feel they are my soulmates, is because, and for want of a better expression, and I know this isn't particularly descriptive, our souls speak to each other. One of the people I'm talking about is one of my very best friends in Italy, Erin, who I met when I was living out there, and we stay in contact. And we sometimes we don't talk for months on end. She's incredibly difficult to get hold of. She's from New York originally, so she lives this incredibly hectic lifestyle out in Italy, and I'm here, there, and everywhere as well. So sometimes we don't talk for months. Every year we see each other because I always go back out there with my family, and hang out, and sometimes she comes over here as well. But in the meantime, it's kind of WhatsApp and FaceTime and things like that, which isn't ideal. But in the times when we don't speak, it's almost like it doesn't matter because we're still thinking of each other. And I think sometimes we pop into each other's heads and we know that we need to get in contact and something will have happened and maybe they need us. But the thing that really made it for me is that it was my first week in Italy, and I moved out to Italy. Just for those of you who don't know the story, I worked for my family's business, and years before this, and they import fruit, and I had the opportunity to move out to Italy for 9 months to work for our agency there, which was amazing. And I'd done French in school, so I was pretty reasonable in French, but I didn't speak Italian. Didn't speak a word of Italian, didn't understand it, didn't have a clue, never taken a class before, and I moved out to Italy and I was working in Italian. Fortunately, the agency I worked with spoke incredibly good English, but for all intents and purposes, I was working in Italian, I was living in Italy, and it was a challenge. So part of the deal was that for the first 6 weeks in the morning, I went to an Italian language school, and I walked into this class, and I was trying my best to be a very good student because I was always a very good student. And this bombshell kind of bounds into the class half an hour late, talking in English, which was a massive no-no, with this American accent, telling us all about this story and this drama that's happened. And she was crazy, and she was vibrant, and she was amazing. And that was Erin, and that was my introduction to her. And in the break, we went for coffee, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm new here. It's my first week. I don't know anybody. We have to be friends. Give me your number." And as a typical British person, I'm just like, "Oh my God, this girl's amazing. Like, what is she doing? She's like getting people's numbers, and she doesn't even know them. And this is so brash and outlandish." But I gave her my number, obviously, because she asked me to give her my number. And that weekend, we met up for coffee. And what was supposed to be coffee turned into coffee, lunch, and a bit of dinner, and all day chatting in a bar. And by the end of that day, we knew each other's entire life story and felt like we had known each other our entire lives. And that's what I mean by a soulmate. She knows me inside and out, and I don't have to tell her anything. She just gets it. And I'm the same with her. Um, and I do feel like I see the whole of her, and she sees the whole of me. There's no facade. There's no um, trying to censor yourself a little bit or judge how is this person going to take this reaction. We're just very, very genuine with each other, and I think sometimes it's great to be like that with everybody, and I do my best to be like that with everybody as well. But there are some people who you just kind of connect with on a deeper level and a more spiritual level, perhaps. And it can happen with romantic partners as well. I've had it happen with one romantic partner, which was incredible because it makes the whole relationship so much deeper. But what I wanted to talk a little bit about today was the fact that it's really easy to let those relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic, turn into something bigger than they are, and turn into something that defines you rather than supports you. Because all of what I teach is about learning to be selfish and learning to acknowledge your feelings and feel your feelings and really be true to yourself and be authentic and genuine. And when you have these relationships, it's really easy to get caught up in them because they are incredible, and that you have this bond with somebody and they get you and they understand you, and you kind of think, well, I don't need anybody else. I don't need another friendship. I don't need another partner because this person's amazing. This person is all I need, and they get me and they see me and they trust me and they love me, and that's such an amazing feeling. But it's really easy to lose track of that because the thing about soulmates is they might not be in your life forever. Sometimes you have that soul connection and they come into your life to teach you a lesson, and then they have to leave again, and they leave. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not prepared to accept that was my soulmate and they've taught me the most amazing lesson, and now I'm moving on and continuing with my life, you end up like really devastated that you've lost that person. Instead of celebrating the fact that they came into your life and showed you something and taught you something and gave you wonderful, happy memories. So just be aware of that. Have a look at your life now and think, do you have somebody like that in your life? Do you have maybe a couple of people? Do you have an old boyfriend or an old friend that you lost touch with that still gets to you, that you didn't keep in contact with them, or it didn't go the way you wanted it to go? Are you holding on to an energy that isn't serving you anymore? And if that is the case, I would say spend some time in meditation. As always, I say that because it really does help. I don't say it for fun. I have a daily meditation practice, and it has changed me as a person into knowing who I am and knowing what I want and knowing what I'm about, and it's made me so much a happier person. So I would really encourage you to do that. Kind of think about if you're holding on to somebody, ask yourself why you're doing that. Ask yourself what is missing within you that is making you need them. Because you should be using your relationships to support your spiritual growth and to support your growth as a person. And likewise, they'll be doing the same for you. It's all about mutual support and sharing that energy. So think about that, and if it is something that you're struggling with to let go of, I would suggest I have a self-love meditation that I did for Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago. So click on that, see how that goes. I'm also, by popular demand, going to be doing a full chakra cleansing meditation. I'll probably do that next week, so that you can cleanse all your chakras and kind of cleanse anything that you're holding onto, because your muscles, your energy, it all holds in your body, and it affects what you're bringing into your life, what you're putting out into the universe. And that's that's a quantum physics analysis. That's not some weird metaphysical freaky deaky thing that's going on. It's being proven. So just be mindful of that, and having soulmates in your life is the most wonderful, wonderful blessing. So if you're lucky enough to have found some people who you really feel that soul connection with, value it, be grateful for it, and savor that moment and ask what it's trying to teach you. And when they're ready to go from your life, or you're ready to go from theirs, welcome that change, and thank whoever it is you need to thank that you had that experience, and be ready to let it go and hold on to those memories. Okay, so that's it for this week. As I said, there are more meditations coming, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about soulmates because it was playing on my mind a bit. So I hope you appreciated it, and as always, any comments or anything like that, please do share them with me. I would love to hear from you, and I will always respond. Take care. Bye.